Hello, my name is Timothy Jones, and this presentation is on the contemporary social problems of racism and a few of its underlying issues in today's society. According to the text Social Problems by Stephen E. Barkin, a social problem is any condition or behavior that has negative consequences for large amounts of people. It is usually acknowledged as a condition or problem in today's society that many people look to solve. And after participating in the class Contemporary Social Problems, I believe it has broadened my view on the various social problems that many tend to look over. But for this assignment alone, I will be narrowing down my topic on the underlying issues that represent racism, while using a critical thinking and a problem solving approach to address potential solutions. I believe minorities, people of color, and all those whose lives have been discriminated by people in power are known to experience life differently than those whose lives have not been undervalued. It's so common that sometimes it's even overlooked. For example, consider the nonchalantly racist imagery that is on grocery store shelves like Aunt Jenna, or the stereotypes that are in popular movies and ads like Speedy Gonzales or Taco Bell's Talking Chihuahua. Race usually represents a person's color, ethnicity, citizenship, or nationality. Laws like the ones involved in the Equality Act make it illegal to discriminate against somebody or treat them differently because of their race. This is called racism. Racism is when someone is treated differently because of their race, ethnicity, nationality, or color, which brings forth a negative way of shaping opportunity and appointing values based on how people interpret the way that an individual looks. In addition, it negatively influences an individual's self image or feeling of themselves. I believe there has been many impacts of racism seen in today's world. This is because structural racism has been established and institutionalized into our laws, our customs, fundamental structures of our societies, as well as our background norms. They're deeply integrated, interwoven, and dangerous, and they make the groundwork for structural racism. There's not a specific culprit, and many may ask why, when, how racism was originated. After research, I have found that one of the main underlying factors of racism is a political business model that was created and established into our system years ago that benefited from fear. Fear first grabbed our awareness that made us tunnel visions on those we don't see the same. Next, it engages us in pictures and media that sells in ads and buys votes. This efficiently separates and conquers humanity as a whole. Even though there has been some development made toward racial justice and equality, there is proof that supports the ongoing negative impacts of racism on human well being. Through unconditional and prominent points of view, institutional structures, and interpersonal relationships that are still very well known and clear. Race is not a genetic concept that reflects inherited distinctions, but a social idea that ultimately portrays the effects of racism. Scientifically, we are all just one race sharing 99.9% of our genetic material. It does not make a difference what shade of skin we have or what part of the world we are from. Historically, humans have discovered ways to not only distinguish differences but to subjugate individuals because of said reason. It does not matter how scientifically the same we are, humans have continued to look for differences in each other, then claim dominance. Even though progress has been made throughout history, the beliefs of oppression that derive from racism still continue. I think that many of the disparities concerning the black and white communities in the USA are an outcome of long history of prejudice and degrading laws and policies, which have created and diminished equality in nearly every way of life. And understanding how racial discrimination is developed into many social constructs and calculating its long term consequences is important to the anti racist work of underdoing these racial barriers. Americans have long been trained to see the deficiencies of people rather than policy. It's a pretty easy mistake to make. In certain perspectives, race can be like an illusion, which humanity has orchestrated itself around in incredible real ways. Envisioning the way the existence of races in a racist world can be compared to being as harmful as envisioning the way classes in a capitalist world. The similarity is that it allows the governing races and classes to keep on ruling. Unsound science without in depth research was used to solidify the permanency of race. While people from across the world have come in contact with one another, it has reinforced the ideas of racial dominance and justified differential treatment based on phenotypic differences. The study of race over the past years has said to be proof that race is a social construct. But now modern science has demonstrated that There is only one biological race, and early anthropological research was insufficient and established different races among people. Dr. Francis Collins, who is presently the director of the National Institutes of Health, have confirmed that humans are 99.9% of the same. Instead of finding a way to prevent social conditions that led to racial bias, our society remains focused on the outcomes that has resulted from it. Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, Native Hawaiians, Alaskan Natives, and even Latino American populations have also experienced discrimination and related exclusions from society. And through this groundwork, racial discrimination has become a socially transmitted disease passed down through generations. Fixing racism and prejudice is definitely not easy and can't be done in an instant. But I believe that there are things that everybody can do right now. Like speak up when we listen or witness racism or prejudice in any way or fashion. Encouraging ourselves and our peers is an essential way to start. As people know of this problem, we can also talk to children about racial discrimination and then educate them on better ways to think about themselves and each other. Lastly, all in all, we need to all work together to stop institutional racism.